when I can do something. And I will not refuse to do something that I can do. Helen Keller. We may not have to overcome such disabilities, being blind and deaf, but such tough stories. We see the possibilities. Through stories, we see hope. Good morning, Toastmaster, members and guests. Have you thought about telling your story? You may think that your story is not extraordinary, but to the person needing to hear your story, it is significant, and it is personal, and most beneficial for you. Has someone's story impacted you and changed you, whether you read it in the pages by a publisher, or a friend, or a stranger, or on stage? Did you know that Lady Gaga was put in the trash can and labeled herself the loser kid? Well, we know how she fueled herself and did not let that story go unsung. Abraham Lincoln, one of my favorite stories. He battled greatly with melancholy, but that was his greatest building for success because he had such understanding and empathy for people. But it made his story so powerful that he had to tell it. Can you imagine if he kept his story quiet? How about the stories that we see every day at the grocery store? Going up to the cashier, engaging in conversation, telling me that she gets off in 2 hours. That's midnight. And she has class early in the morning. She's only a high school student. Or people just passing by in their cars or walking. The handsome man, he's dressed so nice, looks fine, his car, looks like a nice car, I assume he has a nice house. Well, if you knew, he hasn't had a paycheck for 2.5 years. But he continues to pay the mortgage and pay his bills and keep his head high. And what matters most is that he leads his family well. And he has hope because he knows his story will turn out well. On Thanksgiving, so I'm ready to go for a run, knowing I'll be eating some gingerbread cookies. So I see the neighbor and she's about to get her newspaper, extra big. So I gather it. It's extra big with all those holiday coupons, Black Friday. So I bring it over to her and I introduce myself. Oh, would you know, that introduction turned into be 2.5 hours standing in the driveway. And I felt like I had just finished the most amazing love story from cover to cover, hearing the story of the love between our husband, which just recently had died. The words weren't said, but it was shown in the love of this family. And she's waiting for her 2 daughters, also young widows. So just seeing the perseverance and the encouragement. Well, Jean, before she retired, she worked with youth. She was a school principal and a counselor, and the stories that came into her doors. Kids on drugs, a young girl taken advantage of by a young man, now carrying a baby in her womb. And she gave such love and compassion, but also great discipline. I was encouraged and invigorated, ready to go on my run again. I put my music on, somehow strangely, but perfectly, the music station changed. And what was playing was Ain't No Mountain High Enough. I wanted to run back to her door and bang on the door saying, I have your song. Because that's what I saw in love to her, that there was no mountain high enough. Please recognize that these stories are from people that are not victimized by their obstacles, but they are spurred on to help and encourage others. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services also recognizes the importance of stories. You know, we have learned so much by the American natives that they have used stories for history because they see the great healing power in medicine, how it encourages people. It gives them courage and acceptance. Psychology today says that we are all unfolding heroes in our story. But yet, sadly, so many stories go untold. So many stories go unsung. Did you know the importance of when you share your story with someone that cares? It changes you, changes your physiology, your psyche. The hormones change, that you have relaxing hormones that take over when you share your story. But when you keep it bottled inside, then the stress hormones come on, where anxiety and anger and disconnect can take over. Just share your stories. Do not disregard your story or somebody else's. They are powerful, they are meaningful. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable, because it is strength, and it is your story. Well, in this Christmas season, we celebrate the greatest story of a very humble man and woman about to deliver a baby, with a very powerful story to change everybody. Can you imagine if that story wasn't told? The greatest things are not seen and heard. They are deep within our hearts and experienced. Helen Keller. Thank you for listening to me.